So we're here with RaceTalk, and we're here with Robert Scoble, who's made it out to Boston. Robert, how's it going?
Hey, really well so far.
So what brought you out to Boston to begin with?
The MIT Emerging Tech Conference that's happening today through Thursday.
Cool. So how often do you get out to the Boston area? Is this
This is the first time in more than a year. So
nice.
I get to New York once a quarter, so not too far away. But
right. So I see you friend feeding away here.
Oh, yeah.
You were just telling me that friend feed is your new favorite toy.
New addiction. Yeah.
Why friend feed over Twitter?
Well, FriendFeed brings in photos and videos and blog posts and has threaded discussion, so you can see what people are saying about each thing that comes in.
Right.
It brings in Twitters and stuff like that as well.
Right.
And it's what I call the live web, because it is what is going on right now and what people are talking about right now.
So do you see that as a kind of a bigger evolution of what's going on right now? Kind of everyone talks about Web 2.0. Is the live web? I mean, what's next, or what are you most excited about?
Well, I'd say the live web is like the next thing after Web 2.0.
Yeah.
One way I like to look at it is that Web 1.0 was about getting a web page out there, getting a company page or getting a personal page for yourself.
Right.
Web 2 is about adding people to those pages or adding some interactivity to those pages. And Web 3 is get rid of the page altogether.
Right.
Each one of these is a URL, So is that a page? That's not really a page anymore. It's a totally different thing. And it can be read on the mobile or on all sorts of different services, or you can use Twirl or all sorts of different clients to look at it.
So you're just saying, how many people do you have following you on FriendFeed now?
19,000 on FriendFeed and 34,000 on Twitter. And on Twitter, I have 20,000 people coming into my inbox, and on FriendFeed, I have 3,000 people coming into my inbox.
Nice.
The other thing is nice on FriendFeed is I can put people in different folders, so I can organize them a lot better and
to follow.
Put all the quilters in one folder, and put all the sports people in one folder, and politics in another. And
nice.
So so I can categorize people a little bit and stuff like that.
Now, do you get like ideas for different blog posts off of FriendFeed, or different ideas that you want to write about our companies?
Although lately I've been worrying less about the blog and worrying more about what's going on in FriendFeed. I'm starting to shift the hub of my activity from the blog to the hub of the activities, the FriendFeed, and then the blog feeds into that.
Into that.
And Flickr feeds into that, YouTube feeds into that, Twitter feeds into that, YouTube or Seismic or Quick or any of the video services feeds into it. So
there's been a lot of discussion about how companies can get involved in this type of live web through Twitter. I mean, are companies getting involved in FriendFeed, or is there a place for them, for brands to get involved in that conversation, or no?
Yeah, because anybody who does a Twitter account should be in here.
Yeah.
And bring it in here so people can talk about your posts and interact with you in a much better way. Twitter is really great for flitting out these little, like, I'm eating lunch right now, and it goes away. But FriendFeed is that little tweet comes in and people can talk about it. What kind of lunch did you have?
Right, exactly. So what, in addition to like what you're using for different services, what companies are you most interested in right now, or companies that you've been talking to that have been the most interesting as kind of the breakthrough, or what's next in tech?
I don't, FriendFeed to me is right now the hot thing. I mean, in terms of absorbing mine and a lot of people's attention.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a tough one, because there's a lot of little interesting companies around the edges. Like we just saw one this morning.
Right.
Called
NeoSage.
No. What was the company name? Money Isle, was it? Or
no,
that's the product. Yeah.
Money Isle.
That's the product.
No, it's their website, moneyisle.com.
Yeah.
That's the product.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was really cool. It lets you bid banks against each other, right? But is that going to absorb all my time? No, FriendFeed is absorbing all my time. That's something that I talk about once in a while. At TechCrunch 50, I saw all sorts of fun things for iPhones. And the Google phone came out this morning, so that's absorbing a lot of people's attention.
Right. So what do you think is next for applications for mobile phones, at least? I mean, is it just linking GPS together? Is that the killer?
There's 65 new apps shipping on the iPhone every day.
Can't keep track of them.
I think that what's next is the trend.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, there's all sorts of different games and different utilities and different photo. Again, to me, it's more about communicating it in a new way that wasn't possible back when blogging started up, right?
Right.
There's no Flickr, there's no Facebook, no YouTube.
Interesting. Do you think the market is going to have an effect on these startups for people who are buying them, or do you think because the consumer-oriented startup versus the
there haven't been any IPOs for years.
Yeah, I know. It's already affecting them.
So I don't think it's going to, based on what we just interviewed one of the top VCs a couple of weeks ago, and he says he's not seeing any effect.
Any slowdown.
So he says, I'm still looking for crazy cool ideas to fund, and so the best time to fund some of these things is when there's a downturn, because that's when you can hire people, and get things going.
Cool. So after Boston, what's next for you? Where do you go to next?
We're in New York.
New York's next?
New York's next week for the Fast Company of Masters of Design Conference or event. And after that, China, November.
What are you going to China for?
To see a whole bunch of stuff. There's a blogger conference over there that we're going to, and then we're interviewing a whole bunch of people who run factories.
Nice. Did you make it over for the Olympics, or will this be your first? This is your first visit over there?
No, I've been there. I was in Shanghai 10 years ago.
Nice.
So it'll be interesting to see the changes because they're pretty massive. What it looks like.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for your time, and enjoy the rest of your stay here.
Thanks.
Bye. Thanks.
So I guess we should get upstairs.